Hey, so in this video, I'll be going over if you, as someone who's maybe looking to sell something online, usually an informational product, and you're looking at options out there, what kind of product you should sell. If you should sell a low ticket, right, meaning on the price range, a lower ticket product, or a higher ticket product with a higher price, right? So I'll kind of be going over this video, which one is best for you. That way you can make a decision, and when you do start selling something, it has really great results off the bat, right? And not making mistakes. So now, before we get started, I'm making this video because this is something that is overthought by a lot of people, and it really just shouldn't be, right? It should be more clear, it should be more easy to understand on what you should be doing, and I want to make it clear for you on what you should do. And if you are someone watching this video, and there's a chance that you are someone who wants to start selling their own info product or offer online, right? Like I just mentioned, you're probably in the space and you want to get started, right? And maybe you're wondering which is best for me. So I'll go over what exactly you should do. So this is coming from as someone who's in the online info educational space, selling informational products as offers. So that would be programs, courses, memberships. We sell kind of these products. And you, if you're watching this video, if you're looking to start selling your program course online and you need help, before I get into the actual video, if you just need help and you simply are ready to get the help from someone who's done it, who has an agency that is inside the space, then you can watch our qualifying video below. Kind of explains more in detail what we're about and if it's an interest of you. And after that, you can kind of book a call through there. But I'll kind of go back into the video, essentially why you click on this video, right? So high ticket versus low ticket. It's something that a lot of people overthink, like I just mentioned, about selling their something online, right? Courses, programs, ebooks, mentorships, memberships. There's a lot of things you can sell online. Um, but like I mentioned, as someone who's in this industry that has an agency that helps people build, launch, and scale their own programs and get them to those kind of figures, I have seen and work and experimented with a bunch of different niches and a bunch of different price points, right? Low ticket and high ticket. So I can essentially in this video guide you on what you should be selling if you want the best results possible for your offer. Make sure you're not devaluating yourself, which is something a lot of people struggle with. And also you have a clear model on what you should be focusing on rather than guessing and trying out things and failing, right? It's just going to help you. But first, I want to let you know that both work. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other. It depends in certain scenarios, definitely. I'm just letting you know that both can work and both do amazing results for both different people, right? So this is not a biased video for one or the other, but I'll be going over my basic strategies in order for you to know if you should have a low ticket or a high ticket offer, like mentioned. So firstly, let's kind of talk about the high ticket, right? So when I mean high ticket, I'm usually talking about a $300 to $10,000 product. Some are even higher than that, but I'd say 300 is starting to get into the high ticket. Some would say it's more about that 1K, the high ticket, but that's their opinion, right? So first thing first, if you want to get into the high ticket space, it's super important to understand your audience, right? So understanding your audience. There's some basic questions that you should definitely ask yourself when you actually get into the space and you're wondering if you should sell a high ticket to your audience, right? And then one of the first questions you should ask yourself is, can my audience or target market or whoever I'm actually selling to afford these prices? Or can at least some afford these prices? And usually the answer, especially if you have some kind of audience that's already big, although most people couldn't actually buy your high ticket program, there's definitely a select few that definitely could, right? But this is what you should analyze and see how much percent or how much people actually can afford these prices within your audience. And now the second question you should ask yourself is the solution or pain point that you are solving with your product and your offer? Maybe you don't have a clear idea on what you're exactly going to help, but if you do have some kind of idea, what is that essentially going to solve in terms of pain points and issues for the people that you're selling to, right? And is that worth a high price point? Is that worth $2,000 for is that worth $2,000 for your help to that certain specific individual, right? So usually the industries, just to give you an idea, that have the most pain points and where people charge the most amount of money are usually wealth, health, and relationships, right? These are three things that is tied to a lot of emotions for people and a lot of issues for people as well. So these are usually the industries you can charge the most amount of prices, meaning high ticket, right? But that doesn't mean you can't charge high ticket in your offer if it doesn't fall into these three categories, right? There's a bunch of people with different offers who charge high ticket without it being in these three. And to prove this to you, right? Because a lot of people, that's what they'll think. They'll think that you actually can't sell your own program or course for high ticket if it's not kind of related to wealth, making money, getting in better shape, and stuff like that. So to prove this, here is an example I made for you. Just a quick example, just to kind of explain a bit what I mean, right? Let's say you want to sell your offer, which is related to a niche passion, right? A lot of people do this. A lot of people sell offers helping people with their niche passion. Let's say photography as a hobby, any type of arts, maybe chess, right? These are just examples, but those kind of niche passions or different kind of passions. Take, for example, my example here, Lucy. So Lucy, she wants to learn painting. It's a newly discovered passion of hers. She's really into painting right now, but she feels stuck and can't find any good in-person teaching around her, right? She doesn't know anybody. She has no idea how to get started, and she wants to prove herself, right? Because she really likes doing it. And now painting is a big part of Lucy's life, and therefore there's a lot of emotions tied to it. So kind of like I just mentioned, if there's emotion, she'll buy. So there's a lot of emotion in this case, right? We all have this thing where it's really important to us, and we have a lot of emotions to it, right? We all each have our own thing. So essentially, this is the pain point of Lucy. And Lucy also follows Jen, who's a small painting expert content creator. Now, Jen doesn't have 100,000 followers. Jen has 10,000 followers, let's say. And she decides to launch her own high ticket program about painting, and specifically for people like Lucy who wants to learn painting completely online, which is best for Lucy. And Jen, which is the content creator, priced her program for $7.99, which is considered high ticket for lifetime access. So this includes painting videos that are updated, one-on-one helps and critiques, community of other inspiring artists, right? And this is the ultimate solution for Lucy. This is what she really wants in terms of support in her painting, because she wants to get better at painting, right? So Lucy becomes a client and learns directly from Jen. And then from that, the outcome for Lucy is that she drastically improves her work, meets with other artists, and even starts selling her work and making money out of it, right? This is the ideal solution and outcome for Lucy, right? So my question to you is, for you, as someone who's Lucy, and painting was essentially your very much passion, and you're able to solve that and get really better at it, was this worth $7.99 for lifetime access for Lucy? Obviously, right? So, the moral of this quick story is, don't be afraid to charge higher amounts, even if your niche is specific and not related to the three things above that I showed you. So, why charge high ticket prices? Now that I've kind of talked about what they are, why would you even charge them? First reason why you would charge high ticket prices and why it's actually a good idea. Well, in fact, you just need to attract less and convince less people to buy your offer, right? If you charge higher ticket, you need less people to be a customer of yours, right? So it's easier in that sense. You'll also be able to deliver better results for those people because you can focus on them and they are more serious, right? If you just have, let's say, 20 people rather than 100, it's way easier for you to actually get them really good results if they're only 20, because your focus is divided in 20 and not in 100. And as well as that, they'll usually just be more serious because they invest in more. So it's just a better model, essentially, right? You'll simply make more money. Usually, in this case, higher ticket is what a lot of people do just because it makes more money in general. You will also have a better impact, and therefore will have a better, more sustainable business in the long term. A lot of these low ticket businesses that people sell usually don't have the best long term growth compared to a high ticket program, which usually do, right? It's just a better business model in general, right? Let's go now into the why not charge high ticket prices, right? Because there is some negatives. People who want your help, let's say you have an audience and people are outreaching for your help, that don't have the funds will not be able to get your help, right? Let's say you're selling a program that's $1,000 and a bunch of people can't afford it because they could only afford a $200 program. Well, they're not going to be able to get any of your help just because you're only selling a high ticket offer, which essentially is what it is. But that's to keep in mind, right? People can have bad opinions on you, right? Obviously, when selling high prices or selling anything, people will have bad opinions on you, maybe selling a high ticket offer, but that really shouldn't bug you, and that's really it's kind of rare as well. Again, your offer is simply not worth a higher ticket price. That's probably just the number one thing, right? If you're offering what you're creating, it's simply just not worth it. It's not worth the money. It's not transformative. It doesn't give the members results. Then you just definitely should not be charging a higher ticket price. That just doesn't make sense, and you'd be scamming your audience, which is definitely not something you want. Now, let's talk about low ticket, right? We've kind of went over high ticket. Now let's go about low ticket, because there is some advantages to doing it as well. So it's essentially the opposite of the questions you ask yourself about the high ticket at the beginning, right? So is my audience most likely only going to pay a low ticket product? And how can you actually know? How can you actually tell this if they're only most likely to buy a low ticket product, right? You can look up other people in your niche and see what they're charging, right? If you have a specific niche and most people in that niche only charge a low ticket price or a low ticket product, then that's a good sign, maybe, right? So essentially, kind of the same question as before: is the solution or pain point important enough to pay high ticket prices? If no, if the answer you clearly know that is an absolute no, and it's not worth it to buy into high ticket prices, then low ticket is ultimately what you should do. If the help they require is minimal, that is also a good sign to charge low ticket, right? If they just need just an extra hand or an extra critique on their work, then maybe low ticket is the way to go for you. But the thing with this is you might face people in your audience who require minimal help, right? Like I just mentioned, but also some who require way more. And this is where you can incorporate a mix of a low ticket offer and a high ticket offer. But I kind of go over this later more in depth. But this is something that a lot of people use, doing the low ticket and the high ticket offer, obviously for many reasons. So that being said, now, why low ticket prices? Why would you even charge a low ticket prices compared to a high one? Well, you have the opportunity to get into a monthly recurring subscription, which a lot of people use. If you do decide to do a membership or let's say a paid community where you're charging people every single month, monthly recurring, right? And monthly recurring revenue is great. A lot of people like the security of it. It's a great model, right? So this is one of the reasons you would do low ticket. It's great if you don't want to spend that much time into the platform and in general lack time, because you're not helping that much people one-on-one. You're just more helping people in general, and usually you don't have to do some one-on-one work or anything like that. You can spend less time into the platform and helping people and kind of just being on the sidelines and just kind of controlling it, right? So it's a great idea if you do lack time with other projects, then it's definitely a good way to do it. Also, when having a low ticket product or price point, it's more accessible to more people. So you get to help out just in general more people, maybe not as deeply as you would as a high ticket offer, but more people that follow you and want to get your help, get help. That's a good way if you want to think about it like that. And as well as that, the platform and everything usually can be built out faster and more effectively. When you're charging a high ticket program, there has to be more transformative results and stuff like that. So you kind of need to put more time into it to build a really good program. On the low ticket side, because you're just charging a low ticket price, you don't have to put that much time. And also it can be built out quicker and more effectively once you do charge low ticket, right? So types of low ticket products, on the low ticket side, you have memberships, which essentially is kind of what I mentioned, monthly recurring revenue. They have access to resources, group coaching, community, and more. This can obviously, you can arrange it how you like, and you usually charge it, let's say, $10 to $100 per month. That's what you would usually do and what a lot of people are doing. You can do ebooks or PDF guides, which I don't personally recommend, because it's not a great idea. You can do it. I'm not saying it's completely bad, but we just don't recommend it if you do want to build something like a bit more long term or stuff like that. These are usually just $10 to $60 maybe. Lower ticket courses, so $150 to $300. This usually includes videos and maybe other resources. Maybe sometimes some coaching in a community, but this is what you would kind of see. As well as that, people also do community access. So this is essentially you're just paying a low ticket fee to get access to a group of other people, right? And this can usually be maybe $100 to $300 depending on the group, right? So that's kind of the types of low ticket products. So like I mentioned previously, I was going to go back to having a low ticket offer paired with having a high ticket offer, like I just mentioned. So what are the actual benefits of having this kind of system? Well, it's a huge strategy that is used by a lot of people, including the biggest people that sell the most amount of digital product out there, right? The ones who are the biggest in the space and make the most amount of money use this exact system, and there's reasons behind it. It's great because you can have both parts of your audience who want your help and who want to buy from you, but at different budgets, right? So you're kind of creating something that helps both people, both parties, essentially. Um, and also makes a great funnel for people who are in the low ticket offer to get a taste of what you're kind of like and what your help kind of entails of. And then they can buy from there your high ticket offer way more easily. Essentially, it's just like a lead for your high ticket offer, right? So that kind of system and funnel works really well. And maybe a lot of work for someone who has never executed it before. So doing this high ticket and low ticket thing may be a lot of work. And I say this, and maybe just in general, launching a low ticket offer, launching a high ticket offer, just in general, it contains a lot of things and a lot of systems that you have to kind of know about it. And for someone who's never done it before, it can be hard, right? But like I mentioned previously, as someone who's in the online info educational space, if you're looking to start selling your product and you want to get it to those really high revenue months, whether you are a small, medium content creator or you're an expert in your field, if you need help, then like I just mentioned, watch our qualifying video in the link in bio, and then you can book a call through there. Right. And this exact system that I just showed you of having a high ticket offer and implementing the right systems essentially is how also we helped Alex, who launched his own high ticket offer and got it to 23K in sales in only 20 days with only 40,000 followers. And again, you don't even need 40,000 followers. We have strategies for people who don't even have that much of a big following, right? And 40K is not even that much if you look at the greater scheme of things. So if you're interested in kind of getting the same systems as we use for him, or just in general want to launch your own product and do so, then make sure to check the link in bio and we can talk then.